Welcome. This is Tammy with Fun Art Class, and welcome to your Fun Art at Home painting kit. So get your stuff together, get your apron on, scan the QR code to start your music playlist we've made for you. Here's a QR code for you to look at your example so you can zoom in as we paint. So we're going to just get started here, and you're going to add some teal and well, we want teal, but you're going to add some blue and green and white to mix a teal. And I just want to mention that this color that I'm doing right here is just a little bit too blue and too dark. So at the end of the video, and if you look at your example, you'll see that the final photo is of a lot lighter green. And so, so it's more of a teal. And so you want to add a little bit more green and a little bit more white to this. That's what I recommend. But of course, this is your painting, so you can always do your background whatever color you want. So let's just dive in here. And, you know, this is a time lapse, but if at any time you wonder what I'm doing, then you can go ahead and just pause and watch again. So what we're going to do is using that pointy tip of your round brush, I'm getting right in there, and I want to make sure that you realize that it's important that you paint over the lines of your subject matter, because we don't want a gap between your background and your cow. We want your cow to look like it is obviously in front of the background. So make sure that you either slightly overlap those lines. Now I'm doing the chin, and this is like the chest. And you know, when you work with black, you need to have shadows. So make sure that you put a little bit of white there and the fuzz on the chin. And then now we're going to go ahead and we're going to paint in all of the black areas. And just so you know, I have a little bit of a glare there on the video. So it's not gray, it's really more solid black that I'm painting. And in the original video, you guys, I recorded this and didn't realize till the very end that like the half right above the nose and down was cut off. So I redid a new painting and took a video of it. So this one has not been without trial and error. But in the original one, I did a little bit more shading in terms of white shading, making gray areas on the face. The only place that you might want to do that is right here, right around the nose, because the other places that I shaded before, I ended up covering them up with paint, with hair. So now we're going to use your small brush, the smallest brush you have, and you're going to fill in the black areas of the eyes. And just dip the tip of your brush so you have more control over the paint that you lay there. But now I'm going to go ahead and add some white to my brush and just paint in some gray areas. And that's these little gray pockets of color that are on the cow's body here on the side and on the chest. And so I'm just streaking that, and there's really no right or wrong with those shadows, but they were like shadows or different colors of the cow. And then now, without cleaning my brush, I'm just dipping in white, and I'm going to go ahead and put a thin layer of white on the back of the chest and sides of the cow. Okay, and then now what I'm going to do is dip in a little bit of brown, a little bit of gray, and a little bit of white. And I'm doing the horn, the dark side of it, a darker color, and fading almost all the way up to white for the top of the horn. So you just kind of play back and forth a little bit until you get it the way you like it. But really you want the bottom part of the horn to be darker than the top. And then make sure that you're comfortable when you're painting. So I've flipped it, and then here we are. We're going to do this horn again. And again, almost black on the bottom, white on the top, and then I'll blend a little bit of brown in the middle. Really looks good, gives some depth. Okay, so we have a black, the cow's face is black, and then we are going to now go back in, and I'm going to add thick white paint. So this thick white paint, I'm dipping for every single line because I want to make sure that it leaves a texture behind that looks like hair. And I'm going to go ahead and pull that hair right in front of some of those gray areas that we painted earlier. And it gives a look that the hair is laying over it. It's really, really cool. And then here we're putting some little flicks of hair into the background. And this is why you want to make sure when you do that background that you paint all the way up to it or even over it, because then we can put hair in front. So with this cow, I made the eyes just a little bit bigger than the original. And I fell in love with it. So everybody's eyes are going to look a little bit different, but put in the white of the eyes. So I've mixed in some brown, yellow, and white, and I've made a kind of a tan color. And we're gonna paint this this pockets of color, this tan, all around the outside edges of the nose. And then now I'm adding just a little bit more of dark brown and black to do that bottom section of the nose. And then the middle section's a little bit lighter gray, and then the top is going to be white, and I just kind of blend that down. Then you're going to use like almost solid black really in the nostril, and then blend over to lighter, and you're going to do that on both sides. So that's just a mixture of that brown, the black, and then fading out with just a little bit of white. Here I am just messing a little bit with the nose. So when you're painting an animal that's all black, you have to use gray, like white, to have some shadows or depth. So I'm adding just a little bit of white around the nose there, and then now a little bit more white to the chin and a line right underneath that mouth. And then I know that in the video I have added some water to this paint so it thins it down just a little bit. So I can get really nice crisp lines. So thin your black down, and then you can go ahead and add some black hairs to the face, to the ears, to the neck, anywhere that you would like to see some black fur. Oh, it looks really good. It's really fun. This one comes together, and it looks like I like to put a little bit more white on my nose, just to make sure that that nose is popping. So now I've added white and yellow to my round brush, and I'm just gonna do 2 strokes on every petal. So brand new paint, thick paint on my brush, and 2 strokes. And each time, one time I might dip in only yellow, one time I might dip in both white and yellow, but you do usually need to add some white to your yellow so it covers. And then now I'm going to, I didn't even clean my brush. I just dipped right in the brown, and I'm going to do a little brown circle there. And you'll notice that there's 2 circles for the inside of your sunflower. The outside circle is, right now I did it lighter and then darker on the center, but we'll do more work on it later. So here, all right, I have jumped to the first video. And that's because, and you'll see it's in a different phase, I accidentally forgot to record painting the hair on the last video. Oh my goodness, you guys. So please bear with me. But this is the original video, and you can see where half of the face is cut off. But in this video, you can see how I do the hair. And so when we get started, I'm going to dip in heavy, like in white. And then you're really just going to do long flowing streaks of hair in white. And every painting I do them in a different order. So this one, I don't even have the sunflower done yet. But the thing is we're always learning. So when I painted the first example, I had thought that maybe I needed to do things in a different order. And here you can see where I'm putting some of those shadows on the face. But I'm going to be honest with you, you do not necessarily have to do that, because once we put the white hair on, it covers up the face. So I eliminated it for the second video. But here we go with white, and I'm getting fresh paint for every single stroke. Fresh paint. And that will ensure that you're getting a nice crisp edge on either side of your hair. So with this, we're going to go ahead and do some nice flowy streaks. And you can just look at the pattern. The hair kind of starts from the center there, and it goes out and over the ear and the eye, and then down through the face, and it splits right above the nose. But your cow can be done however you want. But I just want you to see how I kind of weaved these hairs together. And just look at the painting, at the example, at where the hair is laying. And you're just going to keep overlapping it. Okay, right here there's like a big long chunk of hair that's hanging down, like bangs that's hanging down in front of the ear. That happens on both sides. And then here we are back to the original, and you can see, or this new video, you can see where I'm adding a little bit to the nose. And honestly, you know, like maybe I think I put more hair on this second painting than I did the first one, but I like them both. You cannot go wrong. The more hair, the better. Okay. And especially if there's an area of your cow you don't like, then add some hair. Why not? So where here on the right though, where the hair is flowing in front of the body, it's hard to see. So I add a little bit of brown or a little bit of gray to that. So it kind of pulls it to the forward. And now I've added eyelashes, again, adding some white to, or I mean some water to your black so it's thin and you get these fun, fluffy little eyelashes. Adding a little bit more white to the top of the nose. That is optional. I'm just constantly building on that. I added a little more white to the chin so it would be more noticeable. And then a black line under the nose there just to make that chin pop a little bit more. Looks like I touched up my eye a little bit. Now I'm going to darken the center of this sunflower. So the sunflower is, the center is like a dark, really dark around the outside edge. Then a little bit of a light circle in the middle. And then the very center is dark again. But you know what? Yours could just be solid brown and no one would think anything about it. So what I'm doing now is I'm going back and I'm adding more paint to that yellow. So the yellow just doesn't cover very well because it's made of full pigment. So now I'm just going back through, adding a little bit more yellow and white. And if you do dip for each petal, you'll get this texturing that looks like a flower. It's really cool. So there we go. There's our dark center. And you just kind of work some brown. It's kind of like 3 circles. A dark center, a light rim around that dark center, and then the very outside edge is dark again in this circle. Just kind of gives depth so you can see that there's seeds. Now you can choose to do with your sunflower if you want. You could go ahead and add a little bit of brown to your sunflower, but I liked it being simple. Now here's where I went ahead, and it looks like I wanted to touch up my horns just a little bit and make them a little bit darker on the bottom just to show up better. So that's the fun part, is you can always alter and update your painting. So I think I just wanted more light on those horns. And I think I realized that in this one I didn't put as much brown as I did in the original. But then now, I think my dogs are getting ready to bark. Now I'm going to go ahead and update and put teal. See there? I really like that bright teal a lot better than the dark brown. Hey, you two stop it. Sorry, I'm correcting the dogs. Yep, so there you go. I would get more of this color to start with. I really, really like this light teal. So with that, thank you so much for buying your Fun Art at Home paint kit. I hope you've enjoyed this video. You've done an awesome job. And make sure that you take a moment to take a picture of your art when you're done with it. Post it on our shared photo drive so we have it so we can go share it and brag on you. And then also go ahead and share on social media and then tag us on Facebook and on Instagram. And when you do, you'll be in a drawing for a free kit for next month. So with that, thank you so much and have a blessed day.